The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Well, half of us are here.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike and Zach will stumble in at some point of their own accord. I don't know if they're just caught in traffic or something or what, but that's all right. As long as they're alive, that's the criteria for the modern era. Are you alive? Okay.
Yeah. Are you safe and alive? That's the important thing. Well, I guess even alive at this point. Safe could be depending on where you are. But yeah, I heard from Mike a little while ago. He bought a new Buccaneers hat. He's all excited from yesterday's big win over the Chargers. So I heard from him about a half hour ago. I've not heard from Zach. I heard from Zach this morning because the Calgary Flames went to their old throwback uniforms as a full-time look, and Zach got excited about that. And that's the last I've heard from them. So I don't know. Maybe they're floating around in the internet ether somewhere, and they'll show up when they show. Oh, Zach is here. I speak of the devil. There he is.
Hello, Zach.
Hi.
We were just talking about you and the new Flames uniforms, which Lanny McDonald approves of, by the way.
Yeah. Look, it's pretty easy to say that the Flames had one of the worst uniform sets in the league because they were one of the few teams that are still holding on to the last, vestiges of the edge template, your side panels and your piping and their stupid inclusion of the flags on the shoulders. But these are beauts. Some people think they're a little too loud, a little too McDonald's, but it's like,
they
how are they
look
any
good.
different than how are they, I'm looking at the Chiefs right now. How are they any different than the Chiefs or the old Rockets? They're bright, they're simple, and they're damn beautiful hockey uniforms.
I love that color combination, the red and the yellow. I mean, I know some people call it gold, but let's be honest, it's yellow. And the white and all that, like with the Chiefs, and like you said, with the old Rockets. I think it's a fantastic color combination. Yeah, it's a little loud, but so what? It looks good. And I remember liking the Flames uniforms back when I was watching them win the Cup in '88, and I haven't followed them much since then. But it's a great look for them, way better than what they had before. Our number one listener, Chaos Blast 1000 agrees, as you can see on the screen there. So he's pretty happy too. But yeah, very nice look. I thought long overdue with the Flames, I thought.
Yeah, this has been like a need for this particular franchise. Now, I mean, there is, I feel, some improvement to be made. You could do tiny things to just ever so, minutely sculpt this into a modern, distinct set. But I mean, again, like much of the NFL has in the last few years, the trend has been a return to sanity. And the Flame set, if you disregard the alt, which they hopefully will rarely, if ever, wear, it's just like, okay, thank you. You're back to being the Flames. The Flames are back officially now. Things just finally feel like, as far as that uniform goes, that, like Zach said, they've dumped the edge template. They've graduated and returned back to what made the Flames the Flames.
I can't believe some of those things lasted as long as they did.
It's amazing.
Like the piping, it's just so very of that moment in time in uniform design that. Well, it's like the Flames. The Flames in the NHL are like the Cardinals in the NFL, where it's like, how are you still wearing that at this point in time? It's 2020. Like, how are you doing that?
And to go back to the color scheme for a minute, they're the Calgary Flames. What other color scheme would really work for that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like, I guess you could go with something else, but to me, if you're gonna like really go with fire as your thing, I think those two colors are about the best you're gonna do, really.
Yeah.
So
the only thing, I enjoyed the black being part of their color scheme. Maybe not as overused as it was in some applications, but I think it has a place in what they're doing. As Andy said, to kind of keep them modernized, some black trim wouldn't be out of the question for these things.
I don't even think black. Yeah, I think you could go with like a rich, like dark red or something, just to kind of just to give it make the yellow, the brighter yellow and red, make them a little bit more distinct. And there's a lot of stuff they could have done and may still do in the future, but just as a baseline, returning to like essentially like how long did they have these uniforms for? A decade? Like 15 years? Like it's been
the Edge uniforms.
Yeah,
those got put into play.
06, 05.
No,
Was it that long
it
ago?
was 2000. It was the year after the Ducks won the cup because they won the cup and then they changed the uniform to fit the fucking template. So it was 07, 08.
Feels longer than that.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
mean, and the Flames aren't the only ones that have hung on to that. Like I'm trying to think of other teams that most everybody has purged the bad crap out, but like the Capitals uniform design, it's going to stick around now because they won the cup in it. But like, I don't know how they allow those clown suits to still be put into use with those vertical like cutouts on the arms. Who else still has some Edge garbage hanging around on them?
Well, I mean, Florida shed their edge finally. I'm trying to think of like
they lost their edge.
Oh no!
Edmonton cleaned up. San Jose with multiple revisions has cleaned up.
The Sabres got away.
Sabres, most definitely. Yeah.
I
guess you could say the Ducks home and aways with the side paneling. It's not the same sort of side paneling that the Flames had, but that's still there. There is a little bit of piping hanging around in the league too, but not to the extent that it was. Colorado, another team that cleaned up there.
I guess. What about the Kings? Don't the Kings have some sort of a weird piping thing?
Yeah. The Kings have. It's weird because they have like one too many stripes going on because they have the piping on the arms, but then they also have the stripes going around the piping on the arms. And then on the white uniform, they have the hem stripe, but on the black uniform, they don't. So they're the Kings could use just a little trimming around the edges too to clean up what they've got. But when we're talking about teams going for simple and elegant and not gaudy and ostentatious, Vegas enters the chat.
Oh God,
those golden alternate uniforms are horrendous.
I mean, what color were they supposed to be?
No, it's not the gold itself, Andy. It's sparkle dazzle gold. It's not just a metallic gold. It's like sparkly.
I'll take sparkly. I'll take sparkly glitter gold over matte, flat, like shitty, like the Saints pants have been, where it's just like there's no glisten, there's no dazzle. It's just flat. Like it's Vegas, man. Let it sparkle, let it shine.
Yeah, but you know what? And I think that my thought was it looked like my grandmother's couch with the matching curtains. And then my girlfriend said it looks like her 80s prom dress. And I thought, well, I don't know which one of those descriptions is more apt, but I like both of them. Here it is if anybody wants to see it. There you go.
Mike says he's in, Greg.
Okay.
Hello.
It's hard to pick up the dazzle on some of the angles of the photo.
Yeah.
But like it's definitely in there. And I have two problems with it. One, I just, as a base color, I think you can use that sparkly metallic gold as like an accent, like they have been using as a stripe of a whole base color. Is it not? And of course, for it being a base color, it's just a swap of the regular template. There's like no thought into this other than, hey, we're the Golden Knights, right? And so they just made a golden version of what they had.
I think that's very, very Vegas, but wow, it just really does bring to mind it's hard to see in the picture we have up, but it brings to mind the like I said, like old school. Like, do you ever see the movie Casino with De Niro? And okay, like their house was decorated in this shit. Is the way I see it. Like the if you look at their curtains, they were all these.
Where did that movie take place?
In Vegas.
Yay! So
that doesn't make it good though. That was 60s
Vegas. It doesn't mean that it's something that somebody should be wearing. And I think the other problem is like this is my thought too. As I've stared at the jersey itself more and more, the jersey itself is like, okay, fine. But when you put the whole combo together, when they're wearing the gray helmets and the white gloves, it looks gross. It's like, as a full uniform, it is disgusting.
Why would they wear it with white gloves?
That's what they do.
Vegas,
They wear the white gloves on the road.
That's what
So
they.
thought, well, we're gonna pair it with the gold jersey because it's a lighter color.
That's what they do, and
Dumb.
I know
What are you eating, baby.
Hello.
Well, you know what?
You're
Yeah,
here, Mike.
you're here.
We're just talking over you. That's all. Go ahead.
Well, honestly, it looks like shit. If you want my opinion, it looks like a cheap tablecloth you'd buy for a kid's birthday party, and
that's a good one.
it looks. And just, I don't know, something about the way that it dazzles, it makes it look that cheap. Like, I feel like I could rip this thing in half. Just looking at it. So.
I see. Okay, we've had my grandmother's couch and curtains, my girlfriend's prom dress. I bet you there are just hundreds, at least maybe even thousands of women who in the early 80s got married or were bridesmaids wearing dresses made out of that exact material. With the horrible bridesmaids dresses. Okay, that one wasn't as good.
Yeah,
but
no, I get what you mean. It's just like yes, Andy, it is so Vegas, but that's not an excuse for it. You can be of Vegas and not awful to look at whatever 15 games a year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would rather. I mean, it's an alternate, so that's forgivable. It's. I don't know. To me, if you're going to be big, like, there's no point in having another gray sweater as your alternate. It'd be stupid if it was red. I hate that there's a red stripe on this gold alt. That looks dumb. They should just have had it be white and pewter and gold. I mean, I don't know. Fucking own it. Have fun with it. It's going to sell like hotcakes because people in that area are going to be like, hot shit, sparkly gold. Like, honestly, I think the other option would have gone with like tiger print. That's probably I feel like that was the other one on the table. That
they really should have done. I would have been all in on that. It would have been horrible, but boy, it would have been funny. I'll go ahead, Zach.
Well, no, I was just gonna say maybe it's if they had done anything else with the design to make it stand out from the other jerseys, other than just being, hey, it's a gold version of what we got. Like I don't know what people think about the alternate logo they have with the star and the swords, but
I really like the star and the sword.
Yeah, me too. I think that would be perfect for an alternate jersey to kind of just give you something else going on. These jerseys, all these jerseys are, hey, it's even in the tagline on one of the photo albums that I've seen that they put up, where it just says "That's so Vegas," and it's like. That alone does not sell it to me. Like, oh, it's Vegas. It's like, okay, but it looks like garbage.
Yeah, I really don't buy that as an excuse. It kind of seems just like an excuse to do something bad. So I don't know.
Right.
Let's get Mike's thoughts on these real quick before we move on to other stuff, because he was not here when we were having the Flames discussion. I don't believe.
The Flames look beautiful.
Okay,
absolutely.
All in agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to get ahead of the idiocy, no, everyone, the mid 2000s Flames are not the best look. These are the throwbacks. The 80s retro throwbacks are the best look. So everyone can shut the fuck up about the mid 2000s look with the stupid black stripes and the snot horse.
Right, I agree. And Lanny McDonald approves of these, and that's all I needed to hear. And I also have to make a correction. Chaos Blast pointed out, I said the 88 Cup championship. It was actually 89. Was the year that the Flames won the Cup. So sorry about that. But when you've been around as long as I have, sometimes the seasons get mixed up along the way. So, and we lost Mike. Okay.
That's all right. He'll find himself again.
Oh, he's back already. Look at that.
Yeah, sorry, hit the wrong button.
Okay. So anyway, so there you go. Some new uniform news. That's kind of nice, right? Oh, and well, while we're here, let's talk about Zach's Rams. They finally broke out the yellow pants yesterday.
Oh, thank God. The team didn't play as well as they should have looked like that, but there's no other choice. Wear the yellow pants every damn week. Wear the yellow pants with the bone. Wear the yellow pants with the blue. Wear the yellow pants all day, all night.
I'm not sure it would look good with the bone, though. Like,
I've seen
off-white.
mock-ups. I like it. I just get rid of the pajamas. Get rid of the blue pajamas at the very least. Like the yellow pant, the blue jerseys were meant to go with those yellow pants. Like, end of story. That's where those two should live, is together. And it's like I said, like looking at them on Sunday, if if this was a world where gradients didn't exist, and and as much as I still don't really care for the segmented horn, the banana, and the crescent moon, if the numbers were all yellow and they wore the yellow pants every week, I would be happy with what they're wearing on the field. I would accept it and I would enjoy it because those two colors, especially in a day game like that in the sun in LA, it's so right in so many different ways. All yellow pants all the time. Let's go Rams.
I have to say that it does not look as bad as I thought it would on the field. I'm with you, Zach. The helmet is, I'm never going to get used to that. I hope, because I hope it's not around long enough to get used to it.
Yeah.
The colors though are fabulous, just perfect. And even the pants with the weird striping, that's okay. But the gradient's got to go. And I'm saying you fix the helmet, fix the sleeves, the stripes on the sleeves, and get rid of the gradient, and you got a great looking set there, I think, really. But that's what we always do here. We like, well, it's okay, but if it did this what we wanted it to be, then it would be even better. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you. The yellow pants all the way, at least with the blue. I mean, maybe not with the bone. We'd have to see it first, but you've got it. You cannot wear that mono blue anymore. That's it. I'm declaring that a rule now.
Yeah, they're like 70% of the way towards a good uniform with the yellow pants. You know, like
the helmet and the gradients are real knocks against it. I'm not sure I can really get past those yet. The 2000s Ram set the Chaos Blast brought up, that 2000s look, I honestly, I think that look was fine for the time. I think that like the dark muted colors would be dated by today's standards. More teams are kind of.
It was perfect for Walmart football.
Yeah, but for the time, for the dome they were playing in, it was fine. But I think the big thing that set has over the current set is that, I don't know, at least they kept the DNA of what the Rams were supposed to be intact.
Right.
They didn't mess with the shape of the horn. They didn't do anything crazy with gradients or anything. So very, very of the time color scheme. But as we saw, it could have been worse. I really don't like the new helmet horn. It has not really grown on me at all, and
nope.
Definitely the yellow pants are the best option for the blue jerseys, at least, but that gradient is still not doing it for me, and also honestly, like, the logo is not working. Like, I sent you guys that screenshot. I was on the ESPN app and I was checking the standings where they've got the miniaturized logos, and the LA Ram horn logo looks awful.
And especially the one you sent, because in a lot of these online applications, they're using the version where the LA is blue instead of white, and that's the worst version of that logo, because then you lose the horn of it all entirely, because now it's the first part of the horn is blue and the second part is yellow, so now it really doesn't work. And I didn't like the first home game. They had or I guess the first two home games, I should say, they had only one. Yes, sorry. They had the Ram head at center field, and that's the way it had been advertised all throughout the off season, was they were going to have the Ram head in the center, and they were going to maybe put the LA in the end zones, because we, the fans, have really supported the head versus the LA, and that's what they chose to put in center field. And then yesterday they switched it and put the LA at center field, and didn't like that at all.
No.
And I mean, we keep harping on the gradients. That's the other reason I don't like the blue pants, is not only do they get paired with the blue jerseys that have the gradients in the numbers, the blue pants have the gradient stripe, where the yellow pants don't. They have the solid blue.
But the real failing is that the blue pants have a gradient that is opposite of the gradient of the numbers. So it just looks slapdash. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, look at that. Like, if you glance by that and you see blue helmet with a horn, blue jersey, yellow pants, you're like, oh, those are the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to think about, is that some college team stealing their logo? Like, no, that's the Los Angeles Rams.
I agree. But just seeing it next to that, whatever you think of the Giants road uniforms, still a very traditional look. And you see like what the Rams could have been had they stuck with the traditional Rams look. This would have been a fantastic looking matchup. Still not bad. I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's nowhere near what I'd wanted or hoped for, but the best I can say is I can live with this for 5 years if this is the combo they go with.
What this picture looks like? Sorry, that picture looks like the cover of like a really lame like 80s or 90s magazine, or like a poster to where like it, like there'd be a poster of like I don't know, Lou Gehrig running, and then like he like fades into like, I don't know, Derek Jeter or something.
Yeah.
It looks like the future is outrunning the past. Like, I don't know. It's strangely
right.
makes me sad. I feel like it could be like an Animorphs where he eventually becomes a real ram.
Yeah.
All right.
Every time I look at it, the bottom half of those numbers kills the entire thing.
It really does, because you would hope it wouldn't be that obvious, but it really stands out.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a gradient so much as it looks like somebody fucked up doing the screen printing here. Like, oh, we ran out of yellow, but just keep going. It'll be okay. That's what it reminds me of.
The pants also have like a tinge of green to them from the light. Like, because there was logic behind that with the Cowboys' weird color of silver for their pants. They were blue. It was to negate the green reflection, wasn't it?
No, because it had to do with standard definition TVs in the late 70s. I think like 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
In the 70s and 80s, they realized when they were adjusting the uniforms for color TV, they realized that if they made the green uniform, if they made the pants green, have like a greenish tint, then they would look stock silver on TV. But then, definition for color TV got better to the point where everyone started noticing that the Cowboys had like weirdly green silver pants.
Right. I remember when I first noticed that the first time I saw it, I went, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, really.
But that's by design. Whereas I look at this picture and I feel like the yellow is almost, you have like the mean yellow of the gradient. It fades up into an actual gold, like a rich gold.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But then the rest of it looks like almost a Nike electric yellow.
Yeah.
Kind of tinged with lime. I don't know.
By the way, we're speaking out of turn here, guys, because that's not yellow.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Soul, right.
Soul.
Okay, whatever. It's still the wrong color.
Stupid.
Anyway, let's I think that's about it for the uniform stuff, right? We didn't see any NFL. Well, the Browns broke out their color rush uniforms.
And the Ottawa Senators leaked. They look exactly as we thought they would look, and
yeah, they look like the original Ottawa Senators, not the original Cup-winning Ottawa Senators, but
the original from the '90s Senators.
Yeah,
it's like a tiny
the
golf
Alexi Yashin Senators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, that I understand.
Yeah,
that's about all the time.
I think there's like a slight difference with like the order of the stripe, but it's like it's minimal.
It's basically the original design. Yeah.
All right. Well.
It's almost like too plain. Like I hear they really probably could use a little dash of something, but they're better than what they've been wearing. So
there is that. I'm not entirely sold on them going back to the original Centurion head, because to me, though, the Roman head in and of itself is not the best solution. I would have preferred if they would have gone all in on the O. But compared to
the original one's dated. Oh, that's the difference. The logo doesn't have a gold or a red outline. It's now an all gold outline.
Yeah, which seems like a really
it's something that only
thing.
we would notice.
Yeah, like what was even the point on that one? I don't know.
Somebody just looked at the wrong file.
All right.
But we could stick with the NFL and talk about the news of the day.
Yeah.
Wait, what's it?
Finally.
What's that?
The Texans firing Bill O'Brien. Finally.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I figured he had another 2 weeks left at least.
No, after an 0-4 starts and trading away DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of peanuts in the offseason, he's finally out.
It was like he had with DeAndre Hopkins, he had a 2020 Mustang GT tricked out, turbo the whole bit. And he said, you know what I think I'd rather have? Sign me up for a Chevy Malibu with a 4-cylinder engine. I'll trade it for that because that's what he got in David Johnson, an old beat up. 5 years ago, that would have been maybe a good trade, but not now. And I'm surprised they fired him this quick, but probably a smart move.
Yeah, I'm shocked it took this. I'm shocked that it was this quickly too, especially considering I saw that story the other day where the Texans thought that the solution to their problem was for Bill O'Brien to call more plays. Like
wasn't that last night?
Yeah, that was last night. Yeah,
after they lost.
Yeah.
And then I guess they decided maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to argue with the with the decision, but it is kind of one of those like this. It's a kind of a weird time to do it.
So they said they said we want him to call more plays, and somebody said maybe less plays, and somebody else said how about none at all, and that was that.
My devil's advocate argument is if you were going to do this now, based on how the season has opened up, you probably should have just done it in the off season because
to
the Texans somewhat credit their first 3 games where they lost to the Chiefs, who were 3-0. They lost to the Ravens, who are 3-1 with their only loss to the Chiefs. They lost to the Steelers, who are 3-0, having a week off due to COVID, which we'll get to, I'm sure. And then, you screw up that, well, maybe we'll give you the benefit of the doubt argument by losing to the 0-3 Vikings over the weekend. But they did have a murderer's row type schedule with Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers out of the gate. So I think it probably is really more that he lost this weekend when it's like, okay, fine, you lost those 3 games, but like, this is a team you need to kick the shit out of.
Well, it could be that, and it could be they had a meeting with him and they didn't like what he had to say about it. Or I mean, we always limit it to what we see on the field, but I remember when Marty Schottenheimer got fired with the Browns after he'd taken to the AFC Championship game, people were like, well, I don't get it. What happened? Well, it turns out, as you look back over the years and you find out about these things, that he went in and basically said, I want total control of the team, and Art Modell said, no, and blah, blah, blah. So I think that it was probably a combination of the on-the-field performance and maybe Bill O'Brien going, hey, look, I traded DeAndre Hopkins. I thought it was the right move. And going, no, it blew up in your face. And he's like, screw you. Who knows? But the case being is that he got fired. I'm with you, Zach, though. If you're going to do it. I don't know what the benefit is of doing it 4 weeks into the season, I guess is my point.
Yeah. Because it's not like they had Falcons level results.
Well, that's hard to do. I mean, you've got to be bad and unlucky to do that.
And yes, they lost all the games, but again, it's not like they lost to trash cans. They lost to some good teams. I don't know. Like if you, especially because wasn't it just this last offseason they gave him the GM powers?
Yeah.
So you give him the GM powers. Maybe you don't like the DeAndre Hopkins trade, but you've already put your wagon behind him.
Yeah.
And then you go into the season. Yeah, he has a couple rough results, but you gave him all the keys to the car. And then you took him away after he hit one light bulb. I mean, yeah. The other results speak for themselves too. With playoff losses and getting come back on the Chiefs by 30 points or whatever it was last year.
Remember what they hang on him? It was some ungodly amount of points that they hung on.
They were up 25?
I forget. The Chiefs ran off 51 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that like I said, it's probably a combination of on-field performance and behind-the-scenes stuff that will come out eventually, and we'll find out the whole story. But I am surprised. I figured it was 2 more weeks minimum. I figured he would make it before they finally said enough's enough.
Because then in the next 2 weeks they play a division competition where you get the Jaguars and the Titans. The Jags, okay, again, a team you should knock over easily, but the Titans are the team that's leading the division. And if they got through those 2 games and win them both, then it's okay, you're 2-4, but you're also in a division that's not difficult.
Well, the Titans.
With an expanded playoff field,
aren't the Titans and Chiefs? The Titans and Colts tied.
Aren't the Colts? What are the Colts?
Colts are 3-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the Titans undefeated?
Titans are 3-0, man. Yeah.
Okay.
3-0 and leading the league in COVID infections, I believe. So good season so far.
Yeah. Well, the Colts have beaten the Jaguars, Vikings, and Jets and Bears. Sorry, they lost to the Jags. Beat the Vikings, Jets, and Bears. So again, not like a murderer's row for Indianapolis.
Well, speaking of the Bears, I wanted to get Andy's take. So Nick Foles, clearly not the answer.
No, I mean,
but I think we all knew that, didn't we?
I mean, it's the Bears.
Well, besides that, but
it's a quarterback for the Chicago Bears, and it's just
Andy. Are you telling us the Bears are fool's gold?
I mean, they.
Oh!
The Bears.
Oh, hold on.
It's not gold.
I love gold.
It's not only the Bears.
The Bears are fool's gold.
I need to add a rim shot here somehow.
The Bears are not so much fool's gold as they are the cheerleader carrying the flag for fool's gold around the basketball court, like just complete frauds. I mean, there was already no real doubt about it before, but I don't know. I kind of watched that game.
The whole thing, right, is that Nick Foles, and we have been saying it, is not a starting quarterback.
He's a guy.
He got lucky. We had two good games. Granted, 2 games at the absolute best point that you could have 2 really good games, but you look at his body of work, and he is not the guy who is going to lead your team on a full-time basis. So,
and I mean, that was why he was brought in the first place. I mean, he was supposed to be. I don't know. There's a lot with the Bears that I honestly just don't want to get into because it exhausts me to tolerate them. Like as a franchise, it's one of those things to where I think Bears fans just innately feel like they endure the same suffering as like Browns fans or whatever, to where it's just like a miserable hell constantly. This hellish ring of football, this misery, but. It's whatever. The 3-1. It only was 1 loss, and I mean, yeah, they're probably only going to win 3 more games all season, but we don't know that. That's why they play the damn games, and we know anybody who's like, I'm burning my season tickets. I'm throwing them away. I'm never watching a Bears game again. All these assholes are going to watch it. They're just going to watch it, and they're just going to bitch about it. So
I heard on the Bill Simmons podcast, because I love to listen to him and Cousin Sal talk the weekend of football. And one of them said, "Are the Bears the saddest?" And saddest is in like not like sad, like pathetic, but saddest is in we're 3-1 and nobody's happy about it. Team in the NFL.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, but I mean, everybody knows it's the eye test, it's a smell test. Where again, that's the whole premise of fool's gold is that you see like the Bills, for example. I think the Bills are not fool's gold. Like the Bills have like Josh Allen has proven he's a little bit Wild West. But they've got a pretty good team. They've got pretty much all the pieces in position for a playoff appearance.
Yeah.
And with Cam Newton catching COVID-19 and things, in that conference finally opening up.
Is tearing it up tonight.
Whatever. Fuck Brian Hoyer.
He's not at all.
I don't have the game on, so.
Have you seen Cam Newton's COVID Instagram picture?
I read the text of the indecipherable like hieroglyphics he chooses to use in his captions.
All those various versions of the letters, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
So
here is Cam Newton. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to convert this picture. But yeah, no, Cam Newton. In regards to his COVID situation, posted a picture of himself on Instagram, I don't know why he chose to look like an elderly black woman, but he did.
He totally does. Yeah.
All right, Andy, you got it?
I got it pulled up here.
Medea gets COVID.
Jeez.
Like at least pull the mask up a little, just pull it up. I don't know.
He looks like who am I trying to think of? A character from a movie, and I damn if I can't remember the name, but very serious.
He looks like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
These pictures are. It really irritates me because clearly
Bader Newton,
a publicist, like look off into the distance, like you're pointing, in your somber, and whatever, tie your scarf, or is this his long sleeve shirt? I don't know. But is that his hair, or is that like some?
I don't know if
turban?
that's his hair or if he's wearing like
a towel.
A towel.
I was going to go with the turban, like the Nick Cannon turban look. I thought maybe, you know, I mean, Cam has been the man with the hats, so I could see it. But
I don't know. Well, there you go. That's
yeah.
Cam
So
Newton for you.
okay, well, I think he'll be fine. You know, as far as he'll survive this unless he's really, really, really unlucky. But I guess my question, maybe you guys can answer this for me. When did he test positive? Was it Thursday, Friday, Cam?
Wasn't it Friday?
Okay, so
It was after all the Titans results came in.
My girlfriend asked me this today, and I didn't have an answer for why did they move the game to today? The Patriots.
See, that's one I don't get either.
I mean,
like, if he's exposed the rest of the offense,
right?
Then what the hell does it matter that you're moving it a day?
I thought they were waiting on test results. They were waiting for one more series because the Titans finally had 8 straight days or not 8 straight days. They had a long series of like positive after positive after positive. Where I think like with the way the NFL does it, it's like if you get 3 straight days of no positive tests, then it's like you're not going to show symptoms or something. I don't know necessarily how it works, but
like, if we've seen anything with like all the testing that's in the news this week and weekend, and that whole thing, I don't want to get into it because it just. But like, the point is that you can have 3 days of negative tests in a row,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can test positive on that 4th day. So that doesn't mean that you didn't have it necessarily. It just means that you hadn't. There hasn't been enough of it.
It hadn't presented yet. The medical service hadn't presented yet. It hadn't. It hadn't incubated yet.
But the whole idea is that if you've still been around somebody for those previous 4 days, in theory, you could have still passed it to somebody.
Well, the thing is with this, with COVID, my understanding is that you can be exposed to it and not show a damn thing for 14 days. That's why we quarantined for 14 days. So my question is, okay, this guy was clearly around other people and we moved the game back a day. I mean, now again, these are all very healthy football players. I doubt anybody's going to die from it, but the spread is what you're worried about more than the actual. You don't want it to like get loose and all of a sudden, half of Boston. I'm not going to make that joke. That would be mean, but I was going to make a joke about Boston, but I won't. But
there's a difference. There's a difference between, because as far as we know, Cam's the only person on the Patriots that tested positive, right?
I don't think anyone on the Patriots has tested positive aside from him.
Like it's obviously very different than what the Titans were going through, where they have 9 players and then the additional staff as well.
Very much an outbreak. Yeah.
So it's different. I mean, I guess you got to see what happens with the Pats over the next week. You got to see what happens with the Chiefs over the next week. When they were talking about the Titans, it's like, well, they just played the Vikings a couple days ago, so you got to monitor the Vikings, and now the Vikings have played the Texans. Like, in theory, this is one of those things that spirals out, and
honestly,
I don't know what to do. Like, we've gone through this in so many different sports now. Like, hell, the Marlins had 20 guys on their roster test positive at one point during the early parts of their season, and now they won a playoff round over Andy's Cubs.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, 2020 sucks, man. I mean, I'm right. The Marlins?
The Marlins, who have never lost a playoff series in franchise history, mind you.
They're winning the World Series. It's inevitable.
Oh my God!
Get COVID, win the World Series. That's how it works. Yeah.
I wanted to, the point I wanted to make with this NFL stuff. We don't have to stick on the COVID thing because Jesus Christ, enough people talk about that. We don't need to add to the. I can't. I used to have a vocabulary once, and I can't remember just the noise. I guess, for lack of a better term,
the cacophony.
The cacophony. That's a good word. But I'm amazed that it took 3 weeks for this stuff to start happening, because you've got 22 guys, on the field at any one time, and how many that are subbing in and out, literally like spitting and slobbering and snotting all over each other for 3.5 hours. How did this? I don't understand how we don't have guys like left and right that have this. I mean, so it's kind of a miracle in that sense to me that it's taken this long.
Well, you want to know what else was a miracle?
What's that?
Tom Brady's comeback.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's move on to Mike's San Diego Superchargers, or excuse me, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, no. This was an interesting situation because
Before you start, I have to point this out to our listeners who want the San Diego Superchargers and Ramit to come back. Believe it or not, I also have a song for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've just never used it before, so now we'll start using it.
Amazing.
Yes, yeah. There you go. Right.
The Pirates of the Caribbean theme.
But da 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 da.
No, it's an actual fight song for the Bucks. But I just want to point out to you guys too that if I use this stuff, you'll have to listen to the show twice because I can't do it live. I have to go back and edit it in. So if you want to hear it, I'll throw it in. But you know.
But anyway, so to talk about the Bucks, the Buccaneers, my Bucks. This is the first time I've ever been on this side of a Chargers choke job. Lord knows I've been on the other side of it long enough. But you know, it's actually great. It's actually really funny because like the first time since dropping the Chargers that my team plays them, you know, it went in like the best possible way. Like the Chargers chargered, including a fumble at the end of the first half that potentially could have, you know, put the game out of reach. And, you know, the Bucks, Zach said that I should have felt it, that I should have known this was going to happen. And I figured out what was happening when the Bucks scored before halftime to get within 10. I was like, oh, this is what's happened. I'm on the other side of it now. But yeah, Tom Brady, 5 touchdown performance and another comeback. So that's looking good.
Real quick before we forget, I was reading up a little bit about the whole deal with Bill O'Brien being fired by the Texans, and I assume many Texans fans are feeling pretty good about the future for that particular franchise, but they should not, because from what I understand, from what I'm reading here, the executive vice president of the Texans, who has the ear of owner McNair, is utterly horny for next Houston Texans coach Josh McDaniels to come in, and they are going to make the entire thing all about getting him to Houston.
No.
Apparently.
No.
So they have learned nothing, and they will remain stupid.
Well, not only that, but there is no future for the Texans to be had because they can't even tank for high draft picks because the Dolphins have their first and second round draft pick.
Indeed.
So guess who traded those away? Bill O'Brien.
Anyway, sorry, we can return to our dear friends. Here we go. The Superchargers loading up here in.
But yeah, no, the Chargers blew a 24-7 lead. So you know,
were you guys able to hear that?
No.
Oh, I wonder what I did wrong. Okay, well, anyway.
But anyway, Chargers blew a 24-7 lead. They went up again, 31-28, and then utterly fell apart. So it's
how do you feel about the Bucks so far now, Mike, having seen them for
how do I feel about the Bucks? I think Brady.
Does this work?
I think Brady is showing that he can still go. I mean, 5 touchdowns. That's you really can't look at that and you know, scoff at it. He's got Brady. He's still got some skill left, and the Bucks have a lot of good receivers. So that's helping.
Well, let me ask you. Sorry, Mike. So the Bucks 3-1. Would you say that they have emerged from the pile to shed the stigma of fool's gold? I mean, they obviously have Brady.
I mean, with Brady, that helps because the thing that I heard, right, was that it was nice. It was nice to have someone behind center who could lead a comeback. Obviously compared to Jameis Winston. The reason why I'm not 100% fully on board yet is, and why I'm not ready to say they're not fool's gold, is that as good as the offense is, and I think the offense is pretty good. Again, Tom Brady looks on point. But the problem is the defense. Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns. The team scored 38 points. The defense also let the Chargers, playing with a rookie quarterback, score 31 points. So it is really a case where the defense is going to cost them games. The offense seems fine. The defense is suspect. So I'm not quite ready to say they're not fool's gold. But at the same time, you look at the rest of their division, they're 3-1. Everyone else is 2-2 or 0-3, 0-4. The Falcons will probably be 0-4 by the end of tonight. So, I mean, I'm not writing the Bucs off. I definitely think this team gets into the playoffs, but the defense is going to be a problem.
Mike, the other question I have for you about the Bucs is having again sat through this for 4 weeks. 4 weeks of cheering for Thomas Brady.
It's weird. It's a very weird situation.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like, for all the years that we've hated him and ridiculed him and thrown strawberries in his direction.
And dildos.
Yes. dildos. What is it like rooting for your mortal enemy?
It's really weird because Tom Brady, is not just the Tom Brady who everyone kind of hates on principle. He's also Tom Brady, the guy who tortured the Chargers in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. And then so to actually root for Tom Brady against the Chargers was a really, surreal experience, to be perfectly honest. It is weird, but at the same time, there is something kind of strangely liberating because he still has some gas in the tank. So it's like you see him do Tom Brady shit, but instead of dreading it, instead of being like, oh, here comes the Terminator, it's going to happen and there's nothing we can do about it. It's like, yay, go team. It's really surreal. That's all I'll say. It's a surreal experience.
All right. Did anything else happen in the NFL this weekend? I felt it was kind of like a very low-key week. I mean, the biggest stories were O'Brien getting fired and those games getting moved for COVID. And
excuse me.
Oh,
the Browns.
The Cleveland Browns.
My Cleveland Browns just did it all yesterday. They got out to a big lead, almost blew it, and then
they're 3-1 for the first time since the Roosevelt administration.
Exactly. not even the administration.
The Teddy Roosevelt administration.
Teddy Roosevelt, but not the administration when he was running for president.
When Teddy Roosevelt was Secretary of the Navy.
Right, exactly.
The Browns looked, I don't know, I'm not to take anything away from the Browns because they played a great game. Their offensive line was actually really strong, but the Cowboys, man, the Cowboys, can we just say they're trash?
They're deep. They've got an incredible offense, but
I feel bad for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott deserves better than that defense.
The Browns rushed for 307 yards on them. When's the last time you heard of an NFL team rushing for 300 yards in a game? I mean, I'm sure it's happened recently, but I can't think of one. And that's how bad that defense is. And that was without Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt was not playing at 100%. And then there was one guy from our beloved AAF, Mike, named Ernest Johnson.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, please, God, let him be an Apollo, but I couldn't find out.
I mean, let's just be honest. The only AAF players worth recruiting are former Apollos.
Right. I think that a former Apollo was one of Baker Mayfield's backups. Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, same thing.
Yeah. Well, Johnny Manziel went from the Browns to the AAF. Yeah. Gilbert, I think was his name, went from the AAF to the Browns. Yeah. So
right.
But the Browns looked really good. The Cowboys D is trash, and Dak Prescott, instead of looking for a contract extension, should probably just be looking to get out of Dodge. Next season.
I mean, the offense is going to put up a lot of points, as we've seen. I mean, they came with Atlanta, so your mileage may vary on that. But
I mean, if you look at Dak Prescott's stats, he's been very impressive in the 4 games that he's played, and he only has 1 win to show for it. And you look at the stats that he's put up, and he's clearly not the problem.
No, but you know what? We were talking about this on the boards a little bit. 6-10 in that division is a very realistic.
It absolutely is, because when the Eagles got their first win of the season Sunday Night Football, the joke was that they clinched the NFC West at 1-3.
Yeah, they're 1-2, and the Eagles are 1-2-1.
Oh, right, they're 1-2, right, because the tie.
They punted for the tie.
Right.
What a fucking disgrace.
You know,
Could it be that punt for the tie is what's gonna like clinch the division?
God, yes.
They will be 6-8 and or 6-9-1. 6-9-1.
That's
the Cowboys
unacceptable.
will be 6-10, and it'll be like, hey, look at that.
No, I that 6-9-1 does not get it for me. It's got to be 6-10. I mean, 6-9-1 would be okay, but I'm not buying a hat.
I've heard some people going on that they want a 5-11 division winner, and while that would be hilarious, I think that's asking for a bit much. I'm aiming for 6-10. That's
5-11. We're getting a little over our skis at that point. Let's just stick to 6-10 and hope for the best, right?
Forget that, man. I'm going all in. I think I want there to be some freak COVID thing that cancels games, and somehow mathematically turns out that the division winner has like only 2 or 3 wins. Like that's the ultimate like sacrilege. But I mean, look at the damn AFC North. 3-0, 3-1, 3-1. Like, and the Bengals got their first win. So, like, look out, world! Here comes the AFC North.
Well, I mean, the Bengals are. It's not going to be this year. Might not even be next year. But the Bengals are going to be good. Burrows is proven that he is the real deal.
If he can stay alive.
If he can stay alive, he's kind of getting murdered currently.
Yeah. He's a good player, though. I mean, I think they made the right pick with him for sure.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Rare is the guy where you go, "Yep, this is the dude," but he's the dude.
And I think he's just another example of why he and Herbert in for the Chargers. Actually, I see Zach. I couldn't bring myself to say Los Angeles because they're just the Chargers. Yeah. But no, like with Herbert for the Chargers, and we got and you got Burrows in Cincinnati. It's really a case where it's just one more piece of evidence that you don't need to do the whole we're gonna wait and develop a quarterback. Like a lot of these guys, like the guys who actually have what it takes to excel at an NFL level, come out of college at that level.
Yeah, I think that if you're gonna do like I think Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. Who didn't? He played in a pro-style offense, but not to the same extent that like Joe Burrow did. Maybe a guy like that you try to develop because he could really be a great player if you get him more used to pocket passing and all that. But you got a guy like Burrow or this dude Trevor Lawrence is going to come out from Clemson next year. Putting those two guys, a guy like that on the bench, we've talked about it before, is just silly. You're just wasting your time.
It's just such an old. Outdated way of looking at things.
Just dumb. It's just put him in there and let him go. I mean, it's the best option, I think.
Greg, how many points did the Browns score yesterday? Like 40 something?
49.
49.
Okay, so they scored 49. The New York Giants all season have scored 47 points.
Amazing.
The Giants haven't won yet. No, they're 0-4.
No, they are decidedly over 4. Yeah.
So, let's go through the standings real quick here. Okay, so Seahawks we think are pretty good, right?
Yes. Unfortunately,
Rams I think are pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm going total fool's gold on the Arizona Cardinals. Not a good team.
Okay. Here's the thing. I want credit for this because I said I wasn't sure about the Cardinals after 2 weeks. Everyone's like, Kyler Murray's balling. What are you talking about? And now they've lost 2 in a row, including one to like the goddamn Panthers. So, yeah, I'm gonna say it. I think the Cardinals are fool's gold, and it's just going to be more proof that a Big 12 offense does not work in the NFL. Like it's flashy, and it'll get you a few wins against some unprepared coaches and coordinators. But the more film that you get on this offense, the easier it's going to be to shut down.
Well, not only that, but you got to remember, too, in the Big 12, they don't play defense. And in the NFL, they kind of do. So that's going to be a problem for it as well. Yeah. San Francisco 49ers. A lot of injuries there. We'll
see, here's the thing. People were going on that, we correctly predicted that, this team was the 49ers going to have problems because of their injury bugs. And then everyone was like, oh, they've won 2 games. Yeah, the 2 games that they won were against dog shit New York teams. The Giants, and then the Jets, who are somehow worse than the Giants. To quote my dad, the Jets are always bad.
Yes, they are.
I don't know if anybody actually sat down and took the time to watch that Thursday night football game.
No, I couldn't bring. I don't hate football enough to sour my opinion of it.
The reimagining of Melvin Gordon and the promise of Sam Darnold.
Yeah, neither one of those things happened.
No, Sam Darnold had a 46-yard run. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
It was one of those things where, like, the score, like, watching it was kind of entertaining because it was back and forth. But also, you look at it intently for any 5-minute stretch, and you're like,
"This is awful."
I know why you're bad, because you can't stop taking penalties and you can't stop letting guys in your backfield and whatever else you want to.
The other but like going back to the 49ers, congratulations, the 49ers C team beat the Jets and Giants. That is a surefire sign of fool's gold, that your impressive wins are against teams that are that bad. And we saw what happened when they played the Eagles, who, while bad, are not quite Giants-Jets bad. And the Eagles, made it a competitive game and ended up winning. So,
yeah.
And I'm not ready to say the Eagles are a good team, because I definitely don't think they are.
Hey,
and
that's the first place Philadelphia Eagles.
At 1-2-1, your first place Philadelphia Eagles. But
division of the ground.
Yeah, but it is. I think it's telling that the first time that this injury riddled 49ers team played a team that wasn't a complete garbage, pile, they had problems. So yeah, 49ers definitely fool's gold. I don't know what their timetable is on a lot of those injuries, but I'm going to assume they've got at least a few more weeks of being hobbled, and it's going to get back. It's going to get
torn ACLs, so they're not coming back.
Especially in a division that includes like the Rams and the Seahawks. I'm not including the Cardinals in there, because I think Andy covered that pretty well. That they're fool's gold as well. But the 49ers don't have the ammunition. They don't have the personnel necessary to keep up with teams like the Seahawks and the Rams. Like, this is going to be a battle between the Seahawks and the Rams for this division, and the Cardinals and the 49ers are just along for the ride.
The 49ers, speaking of which, stop. They were one of the teams chosen by Zach. The team chosen by Zach to win in the unnamed the spin game. I don't remember what Mike.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. It's that old WCW.
I forgot. Yeah, how do we do on that?
Mostly good. Zach was the only one to not do well.
How would I expect anybody to lose to an NFC East team? That's not my fault.
Everyone was right.
In Zach's defense, if you pick against the NFC East for most of this, you're probably going to come out ahead more times than not. So.
Unless they're playing each other, you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You look like crap. You punted for a tie last week, and now you're going across the country, playing on the West Coast, Sunday Night Football against a team that destroyed the Giants, who are a lesser opponent, sure, and they're on their own backup quarterback, but still, it's not my fault.
I can't argue with your pick, Zach. I think you made the right choice.
No, I think he did too. I mean, Mike had a hard call with Panthers Cardinals and got the Panthers, and he was correct.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Rams, and Greg had the Ravens. So we both had we all three of us had a pretty well, at least me and Greg had a pretty easy road. But would you like to spin for next week's game?
Yes, let's really quickly. There's a couple more fool's gold teams. Okay, so I think we think the Bucs are probably legit, right?
I'd lean legit. Yeah.
I'd lean legit on them, but I do want to put in that asterisk that I'm not entirely sold on their defense. But
they're going to beat the shit out of the Bears here on Thursday.
They're going to beat the shit out of the Bears. Yes.
real quick, are the Saints good or not? I'm not so sure at this point.
The whole story for those first few weeks, every time they were on TV, was Drew Brees can't throw farther than 10 yards anymore. What's going on?
Well, he's like 50.
It's like, I don't know. Like they're fine. Like Drew Brees will find them a way through. They'll make the playoffs.
The
contender.
The problem with Drew Brees is that like people were seeing flashes that he might have a Brett Favre, Peyton Manning style collapse where you just go from perfectly fine one year to just falling off a cliff the next. I don't know. I've seen a few Saints games this year. I'm not entirely sold on that notion. I don't think he looks completely cooked yet, but I think the most I'll say negative about the Saints is that the window's closing. It might not be this year, but it is something to think about.
They could kick that window right open if they replace Drew Brees with Jameis Winston on the bench, right?
Yeah, that'll fix it. That's the
that's the key.
That's the key. Jameis Winston.
And one more. My Cleveland Browns at 3-1 for the first time since Teddy Roosevelt was running for his first term. Fool's gold.
Currently, fool's gold. Yes,
I still got to see a little more. Got to see a little more.
I can't hitch my wagon to that quite yet.
Got to see a little more. I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm not. It's not a sad 3-1 like the Bears are. Where I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I need to see a little bit better defense, and I need to see him beat someone. And they haven't really played anybody yet. Dallas, they played a good offense, and but yeah. So
my big problem with the Browns is just that I'm kind of jaded because I didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl last year or anything, but I did think they were going to be good, and they ended up being hot garbage last year. So it is one of those things where it's like, I believed in you once, and look what you did. So
one host on this show said last year they're not ready yet. They've got their 1 year.
And it turned out to be the Browns fan who knew what he was talking about.
All right, let's play the game.
All right,
here we go.
All right, so ignore what's on the screen there. So we'll just keep it the same order as last week. So this will be for Zach's spin. Here we go. Spin, spin, spin.
I'm not ready for this.
Ooh, Chargers at Saints by a hair.
Good luck, bud.
Oh, man. Yikes.
That's a tough one.
I'll go Saints.
The confidence is radiating from you.
Is playing well enough, but you never know when he might get a needle to the lung.
Good point.
And I like the Saints at home in the dome, even though there's not the home field advantage with the fans. I think the Herbert still needs one of those like, hey rookie, here's your lesson games. So I'll say it happens right here with the Saints.
Well, the Saints are known for targeting players, so I can see that.
All right, this is for Mike.
All right.
Mike's game will be his Bucks going against the Bears.
Bucks Bear.
Yeah, Mike gets the early game here this week.
Bass Bowl.
The Bass Bowl. I'm gonna. I'm gonna do the homer pick. Bucks. I think the Bucks offense will be fine. And that Bears defense the Bears offense is shit enough that I think even the Bucks suspect defense will be able to manage it.
Plus, you don't think Brady's not going to want to hang about 75 points on Nick Foles if Nick Foles is the quarterback?
Yeah. That's the funny thing I've found about, because this is the Sunday night game, right?
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah. Like the previews for this Thursday night are like, it's a Super Bowl 52 matchup, and it's like, I mean,
not really,
I guess. And yeah, you have the two quarterbacks, but they're clearly in very different spots than they were.
It's still a damn sight better than the reimagining of Melvin Gordon versus the potential of Sam Darnold.
Untapped potential of
Brady's revenge.
Yeah.
All right, this is my game. Let's see who I will end up with. Jags at Texans. This is tough.
You got the Thursday nighter game here. This is the perpetual Saturday game.
So the Jags Texans is rough because Texans might have that honeymoon win with Romeo Crennel's their new coach, but the Jags.
Oh God, is that who they picked?
Well, that's he's their interim coach. I think he was already on the staff, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that's tough. The Texans are fucking terrible though. At Texans, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with Jags. I don't think that Houston's going to be able to pull something out of their ass to win. Romeo Crennel's like 82 years old. I don't think he's going to. All right, let me scratch that one. All right. And this one will be Greg's game.
Give me an easy one.
Hey.
Oh, another homer pick.
Well, how about that, huh?
Tough, man. The culture legit.
a former Bass Bowl there with Zach and I. Not anymore, but could have been a few years ago.
And against Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at all the little subplots we've got running through this week's wheel. Wow, that's a tough one. The Colts are good, and their defense is good. But they're on the road. The Browns do have some fans there. I got to go with my boys. I'm going to go with the Browns for better or worse. I'm riding or dying with my Cleveland Browns. What can I say?
That could be a potentially very good looking game.
Oh, it should be. Yeah, if the Browns don't screw it up and wear.
Yeah, as long as the Browns don't go monochrome brown or something stupid like that.
That's
Take
what I was
brown
thinking
over white.
When I was watching those highlights, and I'm just like, if the Browns were wearing their normal jerseys against these Cowboy homes, like
that's a classic NFL matchup.
Yeah,
like,
good, right?
Yeah.
Save your color rush for like the Jaguars or whatever.
Yeah, when nobody cares.
Yeah, if you're gonna wear those god awful uniforms, use them against teams that already look bad. Don't blow a great looking matchup like that. But yeah. All right, so there you go. We've got our picks in for next week.
Let's take a peek at baseball while we're hanging around.
All right, well, you guys go ahead. I have no knowledge of it.
Well, I just want to right now. We got through the wild card round, the best 2 out of 3, which came and went quickly.
Almost like the teams that shouldn't have been there.
Well, yes and no, because you had some of the teams that shouldn't have been there, like the Houston Astros.
Goddamn Twins, you useless.
18 consecutive postseason losses, a major sports record. This time they didn't lose to the Yankees, at least.
No, they lost. No, as Greg said, they lost to a team that was caught cheating and therefore can't cheat anymore.
And still couldn't beat them.
And they still couldn't beat them.
Yeah,
contract the Twins, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if we need to make a list of teams that just need to blow it all up and reform. I think Minnesota, the Twins, are certainly on that list. This is a team with championships in its past.
2.
Mm-hmm. No,
I think they've been to the World Series. I want to say 3 times, maybe 4, but I'm positive 3.
They've got 2 championships.
87 and 91. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a nice little run there, and it's
who are the Astros playing? They're playing.
The Astros are now playing the A's, who beat the White Sox.
So
the A's. Wait, time out. The A's won a series.
Well, here's the deal the thing of the first round was all of the Central Division teams all lost, and so then in the second round, the way that it played out in the division series, they're all true division series. The 2 Western teams are playing each other, and the 2 Eastern teams are playing each other. The Central Division has been excommunicated from these playoffs.
That would be the Indian. Your Indians didn't.
Right.
No, they were up 9-8 in the one game I watched a little bit of against the Yankees in Game 2, and then I moved on to other things and came back and found out that they had lost.
Yes, so the Indians lost to the Yankees. The White Sox lost to the A's. The Cardinals lost to the Padres.
Go Pods! You know what?
Right.
Team Justice Padres.
Well, I was going to say Team Justice. No. Team Justice is not the Padres. The Team Justice is currently the A's. Because,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because fucking Carlos Correa, ran his mouth and after they won that series, he's talking about how what are the haters going to say now, and all the people hating on us, you shut the fuck up.
You know what we're going to say? We're going to say that you still cheated to win your World Series.
Yeah.
And the cruel twist of fate for the Astros, which is kind of funny, but they're probably going to try to shove it in all of our faces anyway, like Correa did, is now they're returning to one of the scenes of the crime. They're playing their division series in the bubble at Dodger Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in front of all the Dodger Stadium cardboard cutouts, which they've left up. So you have thousands of cardboard Dodger fans staring at the Astros
with dead eyes.
I thought they were moving everything to a bubble, like
they are. So
the big grill in Texas and
the MLB bubble is less than what I thought, and it's kind of like, why the hell are you going to do it at all? So all the wild card rounds, the best 2 out of 3, were all played at home stadiums. So they were played in
Yeah, because
and Minnesota and
Cleveland. I think
Cleveland.
I think the Indians played theirs at home. Yeah.
So then, once they win those series, now they've moved to these quote unquote bubbles in Los Angeles, San Diego, Arlington, and Houston. Now, the series that are going on in Houston and LA, those winners will move to San Diego and Arlington, and then the AL winner from San Diego will go to Arlington to play the World Series. So it's like they're not really bubbles. It's just like you could based on the format, they could just play these in their home parks, and it wouldn't be all that different. It's
Well,
not
not to
like they
mention-
move everybody to Texas and are just playing the games there, which is strange.
I don't know. I honest to God, guys. I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you all the teams that made the playoffs. I really don't know. I've never paid less attention to a baseball season in my life.
But here's the matchups. We'll run through them quick. So as we mentioned, Astros A's. The Astros won Game 1, 10-5 just now. So
whoa,
despite
Oh,
being
fuck yourselves.
despite
Now,
getting
is this-
to the playoffs with a
is
sub
this-
500 record, they might
this-
be catching heat.
Is this the best 3 out of 5 or 4 out of
This-
7?
This is 3 of 5 for their division. Yeah.
All right. Well, the A's need to get on the stick and win. The
God
next game.
damn it. Moneyball, fucking accomplish something for once in your miserable existence.
Right?
Then we have Rays and Yankees. The Rays with the best record in the AL, taking on the Yanks in San Diego. Which whatever.
Okay.
And then in the NL, you have Padres Dodgers, which I'm all in on that. That'll be fun.
Great uniform matchup.
Yeah.
Indeed. You know what? I'm kind of pulling for the Padres to pull it off because
Yeah,
Right?
that would be perfect uniform karma. You know, they resist going to Brown all those years. They finally pull the trigger and then they win the World Series.
I'd be happy for the Padres, but I think I'm ready for the Dodgers to finally just get this thing. Like the same way that the Tampa Bay Lightning finally won the Cup after being the best team for the last 6 years. It's like, all right, yeah, you probably need to win one at some point here before you really just start getting truly ridiculed. And I think we're at that place with the Dodgers. where I'd be okay if they won.
That's Tampa Bay Lightning led by Stanley Cup winning captain Steven Stamkos. I'll have you know.
Yes, who, despite who won the Cup just in time with the COVID restrictions being lifted in the state of Florida, and they're really running with it, including having random people come up and drink beer.
I was just
out
going
of
to
the
say, I suggest going to a really crowded bar, filling that fucker with champagne, and letting everybody drink from it.
Yeah, which they
What could possibly go wrong?
If they had a boat parade with jet skis and
This is and it turns out Lightning Stanley Cup defense campaign halted because the entire team has COVID. Fantastic.
And the best part is the state of Florida doesn't do contact tracing, so even if somebody does get COVID, we'll never know.
Yeah, no. The state of Florida doesn't do contract tracing because we're run by idiots. Like
No, Alex Killorn made sure to give Governor Ron DeSantis a shout out during his celebration speech.
Jesus Christ.
See, well,
Anyway.
it's easy for me to say this from 1,000 miles away, Mike, but I'm glad we're finally seeing a canary into the coal mine on this. So we had to find out somewhere. Might as well be you guys. So just saying.
You know what? When we have to, when the entire Tampa Bay Lightning, are out with COVID and they have to start next season with the Syracuse Crunch starters, that'll be
hilarious. Come on, we almost have to root for that now.
I'm going to be. I'm taking so many precautions. I should be fine, but.
Well, and speaking of the state of Florida, the last series is the somehow made it through to the second round of the playoffs. Miami Marlins taking on the Atlanta Braves.
The undefeated in the playoffs Miami Marlins franchise.
I don't think I'd give a shit about this series if we'd played a full normal season.
I feel like what we're seeing with the Marlins involves some form of time travel. It's some sort of they're a group of time travelers come back to destroy the most American game. Blood for the blood god. There needs to be a team that sacrifices. They're going to win the World Series through some sort of awful, COVID riddled trial where the dregs, local Floridians will be coming in to wear the uniforms, winning 37-29 in 13 innings over just nobodies. The Florida Florida will be the face of this whole thing when it's all said and done.
I
And,
couldn't think of a
presumably
better
so.
place for it. No, but kind of going off a rebuttal, I guess, to what Greg said about, how Greg, you said you wouldn't care about this, a full series of this. I do, if only because I'm curious. I want to see this. The Marlins are fascinating. Like, as Zach said, they have never lost a playoff series in franchise history. The 2 times they've made the playoffs, they've won the World Series.
That's a good point.
And so, and this team shouldn't even be here because, goddamn it, half the team got COVID at the start of the year.
Not only did half the team get COVID, but they were purposely stripped for parts again.
Yeah,
And somehow they're here in the playoffs and they win a round. What the hell?
So I am
The
legitimately
team of misfit toys is somehow in the playoff. I don't get it.
So now I'm curious. I want to watch this thing just to see how it goes. I need to see how far this stupid Marlins undefeated in the playoffs train can go before it finally ends.
Well, if there's a team they can continue to beat, it's the Braves, because God knows the Braves have their own playoff issues.
Yeah.
Right.
And then let's say they do get to the NLCS and they're playing the Dodgers. And it's like, I don't know, hey, do you hear that noise in the back of your head, Dodgers? That's your,
right.
your playoff noises. And it's like, oh, shit. And then all of a sudden they're in the World
Yeah,
Series.
and then,
It's like,
and then suddenly they beat the Yankees in the World Series again, and it's
Uh-huh.
Miami
Yeah.
Marlins world champions.
Well, not only would it be them in the World Series against the Yankees, who they already beat, but it would be Derek Jeter's Miami Marlins taking on the New York Yankees.
Well, think about this. Think about what could fucking happen. We could have. It's probably not likely, but we could have the Miami Heat winning the NBA title. We could have the Miami Marlins winning the Major League World Series.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay has raised the Stanley Cup, and who the hell knows? Maybe the Dolphins or the Jags will be your Super Bowl winners. The mark of the beast. This is the rise, the final.
The rise of Florida.
We are so fucked. This is
Florida, man. Florida. This is it. This is the era.
Hey, the University of Florida has a pretty good team this year. They could win the national title too. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
the whole thing to the ground.
What I mean, you couldn't have made any more. Who's the guy who made all the predictions 100, whatever many years ago?
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus couldn't have written this shit any better. To where it's just like beware the penis of the great America, and we're like, I don't know what the fuck are you talking about? It's like there will be the signs of 4. It's like what do you mean the signs of they'll raise 4 golden icons?
Well,
and it's just like oh shit.
Wait a second. Oh my god! I didn't think of this. It couldn't even be the Miami. The Marlins don't have to play the Yankees in the World Series. I just told you the Tampa Bay Rays are the #1 seed.
Oh my god! It could be Rays Marlins.
Oh my god! The two Florida teams playing for the World Series title in Texas. Sure.
But regardless, what they have to do is they have to bring all the trophies. They have to bring all the trophies together in Florida, which and they have to melt the metal down and combine them because then it's the Horcruxes to destroy the coronavirus.
They make a giant syringe out of it. Yeah.
Right. The coronavirus is all some sort of. It's all like we're muggles, so we can't see what's actually happening.
So there's some sort of alchemy that has to happen here, right? We get all the 4 trophies together and melt them into one thing, and it becomes like this avatar for beating coronavirus back. Is that how it's going to work?
I don't know. I think so.
You know what? In 2020, that makes as much fucking sense as anything else does.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Now we got to root for it.
Come on, Heat. It's just you just have to win 3 more games against LeBron. You can do it.
Yeah, you can win 3 more games with half your, 2/3 of your best players injured. That's
you can do it, Heat.
I like all props to the Heat. I'm so damn surprised that they won that game yesterday. Like I know the Lakers probably took their foot off the gas a little bit. Excuse me, but that series hasn't really been exciting. Like the Lakers, they were down 13 points in the first quarter, game 1, and then they blew them out by 30. The second game, the Lakers were ahead by 10 points the entire game. So I'm surprised that the Heat won the last one, but that's not going to be that'll be 5 games and done. Like that's
yeah.
like
I don't know how they with Jimmy Butler and a bunch of dudes named. I don't even know. I don't know how they win this.
Hey,
unless somebody on the Lakers side gets injured, which is possible, but
sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. While we're on the topic of the NBA, the Did you see the new MLK uniform for the Atlanta Hawks?
No.
No.
Oh no,
Okay.
is it as egregious as the Oklahoma
Lord.
City bombing jersey?
Oh, jeez, that weird thing.
So there, I go ahead and I went and shared it. So here it is. It's not terribly exciting. It's
Oh, that's classy though. At least.
That looks like Martin Luther King High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
we have.
I mean,
one of those out here.
it's cool. It reminds me of that Wizards alt kind
What's
of.
on the shorts?
Stars, it looks like.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Let's see. It's supposed to replicate the stained glass windows at Ebenezer Baptist in Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay.
The striping is reference to artifacts. I don't know. There's the
Sure.
22 white stars are a reference to one of his quotes about student freedom fighters. So there's thought at least that went into it.
Okay.
And
At least it's
that's
not.
fine.
At least it's not as morbid as the Oklahoma City one. It's not like they put timestamps on the uniforms to represent the time. Like, and he was shot at this. At this hour.
The very moment he was shot is emblazoned on the jersey here. It's like, oh, that's nice.
At least they didn't put like bullet holes on the jersey of where he was assassinated. For whatever reason, I see this though in the way the serifs are. I just keep reading milk, so I just keep seeing like.
Or Milwaukee.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's tasteful. I just,
That's
I don't
fine,
know.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind
It's
it.
pretty simple. It's
It's pretty simple. You know what? You know what? Any issues I might have with it, I'll just you know what? It's fine because the Hawks released a new uniform update this season, and they actually look pretty good. So the Hawks get a pass because they're going in a good direction, identity wise.
I think this is one of those things though that like it does strike me in a way like the Oklahoma City jersey, where it's like you can do something to honor the man or sets up some sort of fund or some educational night or reference or something, but you don't need to wear it. You need to wear it and sell it. Like,
yeah, that is that is kind of skeezy, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sure it might be one of those things where like every purchase sold 20% goes to helping inner city kids or something.
I'm just coming from this from the perspective of the Oklahoma City thing, where that one was just so weird and so off-putting that this is just like, oh, it's a simple uniform. It has his initials on it. It seems like they took their time to reference relevant iconography. So it did. I get what you're saying, Zach, and it does kind of have that. Should they really be wearing this? But at the same time, it's not a memorial to like the exact hour that he was shot dead. So it's by the standards of memorial jerseys in the NBA.
Didn't the Oklahoma City uniform have like shock waves and shit on it? It was horrible.
Yeah, it had like.
I remember we were astonished at how tasteless it was.
Yeah, well, because it was like it had the time.
The bomb went off.
Yeah, right, on either side, and it's like, well, this is all a reference to the monument that's been set up with the gate. It's like that's all fine and dandy for anybody that doesn't live within 20 miles of Oklahoma City. Nobody knows what the hell that is. And to us, it looks like they're making money off of.
It looked like
that
it almost like they were celebrating it more so than all the wrong ways. Like, hey, look what happened to us. Cool, right? Kind of thing. It was really, really, really tasteless, I thought. And we went on for like an hour about it because it was just, we were astonished. It was like, they really did this? Because I swear, if you had written that whole thing and claimed it as a joke, people would have believed it. They would have been like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
It could have been like an Onion thing of like,
yeah, right. That's what it read like. It was like, you can't be serious.
Yankees make 9/11 uniform where all
That's what I was just about to say.
The Twin Towers.
Like they'll have like the falling man on the side panels or something.
Oh no!
Just and they'll be like explosion.
And they'll wear them
orange.
when they play. The Knicks will wear their Twin Towers jerseys against the Washington Wizards in their Pentagon.
Numbers. Right,
smoldering pewter. There's got to be the let's see. I'm trying to think of what a jet fuel orange or something. There needs to be my pet goat blue, something like that. So,
We're burning hell
Zach,
for this.
Zach, do you want to give us a live update of this barn burner that's going on between the Chiefs and the Patriots?
Oh, for God's sakes! This is a
been
bad football game. I don't know what the hell's going on up there.
What's the
There's-
tell
pitcher's
us the
duel
score.
so far? It's a 6-3.
It
Jesus.
is 6-3
6-3.
at halftime. Patrick Mahomes has looked ineffective, which is strange. And then the Patriots are using Brian Hoyer, who ran backwards 20 yards for a sack on the final play of the first half.
It's very
Take
football.
How is Bill Belichick gonna castigate him in the locker room at halftime?
I hope so.
Belichick is wearing Belichick's wearing two masks. He's wearing like the white N95 mask,
Mhm.
and then on top of that, he's wearing a neck gaiter to like hold it in place. But the neck gaiter has ear holes, so it's pulled up over his neck, over his face, and around his ears.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean Belichick has had a couple different mask looks this season because he clearly doesn't want to wear it like during the game. So like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago where he was wearing it like half folded up so he could still like talk out of his mouth? And now you have this version. So this is a bad game. I don't know if playing on Monday versus Sunday like screwed with the players' routines, but everything about this game looks out of sorts.
I mean, I can guess why maybe Mahomes would be ineffective. I mean, Belichick's a good coach. I can totally buy the idea that Belichick could game plan against Mahomes, and then
you gave Bill Belichick an extra day to game plan.
I mean, they did, yeah, right.
Yes,
and
Listen, Mike.
You know that.
Pardon?
You know that.
I said I'm with you, Mike.
Belichick probably got like how much of a pain in the ass must it be because he probably has people. It's like, oh, listen, I need tape from the Chiefs game last week. And it's like, okay, Bill, I'll get it for you. Here's a file you can play on your computer. It's like, yeah, could you give that to me on a VHS? Like, I'm sure there's like he's got to get everything converted to like ancient media and like Laserdisc and shit.
He needs the game film loaded up to the projector in the back of the room.
You
Right.
have that on Betamax?
I mean, for real, because like his office is hilarious. He just has like a bunch of like old CRT TVs and just kind of a mess. And
then you look at it's like this is the guy who's like fucking owned the league for 2 decades.
Like, the greatest NFL coach of all time is just sort of like this. Just lives in a hovel where he just surrounds himself with trash and. I don't know.
And he's got it, and his dog just sits in his chair. Yeah,
That was great.
Hey, whatever. He's a humble dude, and he's I guess it's less pretentious than the Cardinals head coach who sat in this like staged display home with like 80-foot tall windows and a fire, even though it's Arizona.
That house cost more than our entire city did, I think. That place that he was in. It was nice.
I just loved it. And this is going back in time to the mock draft when we saw all this stuff going down. But I thought it was hilarious how you go to all these other GMs and coaches who have like executive recliners and they've got like 5 HD screens all running with like depth charts and mock drafts and they've got scouting reports and they've got like earbuds and 2 phones going, and then it's just like Bill Belichick who's sitting at his kitchen table with a single laptop and like a cup of coffee and some pens.
That's all he needs.
Yeah,
Mike, the computer was just a prop.
The computer is
it was a prop. It's totally. It probably just had like a screensaver going on it. You couldn't see it. There was nothing there. He was just doing it.
Yeah, he's got like the
pads.
He's got like flying toasters on the screen from like.
There's his double mask.
No. Oh god.
He's trying to make a point, I think. Well, no, I know that
I think he's trying to hold it in place because I know with some of these masks, like if you're talking a lot, like they have to do with the headset, that it will ride up,
Mm-hmm.
So I get trying to hold it in place.
Well, plus the Gators, I guess, are actually like the worse than just not wearing anything. Because for some, I don't understand it, but for some reason they become like this perfect way to like shoot, like project your.
It turns your breath into like an aerosol.
Right. It does it like this stunning precision. It's like who the fuck would have thought of that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But watching this game, it does make me think, well, yes, they were definitely right to find Cam Newton because Brian Hoyer was not the true successor to Tom Brady.
No, why don't they get that Jason Stidham in there and see what he can do? Shit, because right now Hoyer's not doing anything.
No, he looks like crap. But I think they're like, well, we're still within 3 points, so
yeah. So bring the other guy in, and if he can get something done, you might win.
I don't know.
Because right now you're gonna lose 13-3 because the Chiefs are worse.
It's 134 yards for the Pats to 175 for the Chiefs.
God.
So.
Oh man, I don't know, guy.
Have you guys thought that the football? Because like, I don't know. I was talking to somebody and they had this opinion. Have you thought that the football quality this year has been that bad without preseason and all that?
It depends on who you're watching, really.
Yeah,
it depends on the game. Some have been better than others. You know, it's it is what it is, man. I mean, I don't think that we can expect anything to be what it's supposed to be this year. Just because it's just. Oh, I wanted to bring this up too. One of our followers, listener of the show, and follows us on Twitter. He goes by Joe on Twitter, but he had a great tweet. He said, "We're going into the fourth quarter of 2020. I sure hope we're playing the Falcons," which I thought was really funny.
It doesn't feel that way. This last week especially felt like a million fucking years.
Do we want to talk about?
No, I mean I don't know.
Because honestly, last week feels like 5 years.
Here's the thing I want to bring up.
So much shit happened last week. It's just like I was thinking about it Sunday night of like, oh my god, the tax return thing was over a week ago.
Tax return, worst debate in history. Trump got COVID.
Mike, no. That debate was the best debate in history because we were that close to somebody saying "go fuck yourself" to the other one. I called it way back.
I mean, Biden kind of did. He
kind of did, yeah. I thought he was really. I think the next one they'll go for it. I really do. It was a. If you just wanted to watch for laughs, it was hilarious because it was so bad.
It was the most frustrating thing to take in.
It was god awful. It was just god awful.
I was so exhausted by just like entertaining it. That was like, oh my god! I watched it with my coworkers here at the paper because we're political junkies to an extent now, and it's just like none of us wanted to talk about it because it was just like there's nothing to take out of this. We're all worse for it, and let's just go home. So
the best thing I can say about it, or I should say the best thing, but if you're looking at it from okay, did this change anybody's minds? It might have gotten a lot of people to decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm not voting for anybody.
Yeah,
I mean that might have happened. But
did you see any like the post debate coverage and like the?
No, I wasn't even going to go there. I was like, Christ, I don't even know.
The CNN one that they had, they did the focus group and they had all these people outside in Ohio, and there was maybe like 20 people, I want to say, and they did the thing of like, raise your hand if you think Trump won, raise your hand if you think Biden won.
I think maybe I did see that.
And like 2 people raised their hand for Trump, 1 person raised their hand for Biden, and then nobody else raised their hand.
Raise your hand if you'd like to just like call this a dumpster fire and start the whole thing over again. And everybody raised their hand.
I will say that that they did polling in Pennsylvania and Florida, and apparently Trump's behavior particularly seems to have cost him a degree of support. I don't know if it's going to be like anything significant, but
again, we've said this before. If this was any other guy in the history of this country that had the tax return thing, that had the debate performance, and had a COVID diagnosis in the same week, they would be just radioactive garbage at this point. Nobody would want to be anywhere near them, and yes, we're still. I really don't feel like anything's changed.
No,
I honestly, as a former political wonk back in the day, I think that the COVID diagnosis probably effectively ended his chances because maybe now there's also the other side of this where he's 70. Because I mean, let's be honest about it. The guy's 74 years old. He's a fat fuck, and he was like, you're talking about like walking around with a giant COVID target on your back. And he survived it. So it could go either way. I've heard that a lot of people he lost a lot of senior support with this, but you're also going to get the people who go, see, it's not as bad. So it's hard to say.
Well, he's literally tweeting.
You already said today.
It's not that bad,
tweeted,
everybody.
Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't be afraid of COVID. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Don't
be afraid of it. What are you talking about, you crazy person?
Well, no, you really shouldn't be afraid of it. Especially, I'm not. That doesn't mean like I'm not. Look, I'm not saying it the way he's saying it, but when you look at the survival rates, like with you guys in your age group, if you put 100 people infected with COVID in a field, like 1/3 of them would be not 1/3 of people,
Yes,
1/3 of a person, 1/3 of a person would be dead.
But if you take 100 people in his age group,
that's a different story. Then it's like 94% survival rate. But
it's also the person who's saying it. Like me saying it, Greg saying it, Zach saying it. Doesn't matter if we say it. You know what? I'm not afraid of it. I'm not worried about it. It's another thing for the leader of the free world to after getting what he will tax payment free best care in the world over the last 3 days,
right?
Loaded up with drugs,
getting experimental cocktails of antibodies.
I think honestly, I think his treatment was like the scene from Wolf of Wall Street where he just grabs a bag of cocaine out of the couch cushion. Like I think it's pretty much just that. Like he's loaded up on Quaaludes and cocaine and just says, I'm fucking cured. I'm leaving. And now he's like barely breathing, trying to like navigate around the White House for these photo ops in front of flags, just wheezing and. He's gonna drop dead.
The photo op he did, where he was signing a blank piece of paper.
Oh yeah,
this is straight up North Korean style propaganda.
The best thing I've seen so far is this video of him waving to the whatever invisible crowd here at the White House as he's gone back today. He's up there gasping like that. Like it's like the footage of that blobfish they pulled from the floor of the ocean. That's just like barely.
I thought that was Ted Cruz. I thought
Ted Cruz is a lizard. Ted Cruz is a lizard man. But he's just gasping for it. And you can tell as soon as he gets back, as soon as they close the doors behind him, he's just going to collapse in a sweating heap, and they'll plug him into some Fox News and throw some more lewds down his throat, and he'll just like slowly, get back into his like orangish state. God damn! Just what a fuck.
I do think that. And maybe he is doing. Look, he's the president of the United States. I mean, I don't care who was in office; they were going to get this treatment if they caught this. So that's not surprising to me because they're like, well, you got this steroid that's for severe cases. It's like they were going to give that motherfucker everything they could find, whether he needed it or not. But what I do find interesting is, I totally forgot what I was going to say. What were we talking about before that? Quick, because I don't want to lose this point. It was a pretty good point.
Trump being sick and walking around the White House. Being a blobfish,
losing the election.
Oh, right, yeah. So anyway, the treatment and all that. What I do think though is I don't understand letting him go already today. Is he not still contagious?
Yes, very much so.
He is. Yes.
So what the fuck? What are you doing?
He doesn't want to be in there anymore. He wants to work from. He thinks people think he's weak, so he put he loaded up a hermetically sealed car full of Secret Service agents and got them all sick. And as soon as he got the White House, he took off his fucking mask and he's up there, like I said, doing the blobfish wheeze. And now, like, I can't believe all the people in the fucking White House, all the staffers aren't just walking out in droves because this dumb motherfucker's in there just like shit.
They can't because they're all infected too. They're not allowed to leave. Have you seen the video he posted within the hour of on his Twitter account? It's like the helicopter landing and him walking in, and it's playing this triumphant music. This like, it's like, how are we looking at? What country do we live in? I feel like
North Korea, man. This is North Korean style propaganda. I'm not even exaggerating. It is.
North Korea is infinitely more organized about their propaganda than
right.
This is some
Mike,
slapdash shit.
You've got to invoke Hanlon's razor here. You cannot attribute to malice that which can adequately be explained by stupidity. I mean, this is. I would say this is just. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's North Korean propaganda, but that's all I can say is I'm sure what it's not. I'm just not sure what it is.
It's stupid. This is all just stupid as hell, and it has been for so long. And I read somebody had a really good string of tweets the other day where essentially like this feels like we finally reached the volcano of bullshit to where like it's almost like we've been searching in the galaxy for like the source of all bullshit, and we finally seen it, and we're and now that we've reached the like orgasm of bullshit, we're all just kind of coming down from the high of like maybe we dug too deep, maybe we tried too hard to like unearth this bullshit.
It's you know what this is, Andy. This is clicking on the link to Two Girls, One Cup. That's what this is.
I'd say it's more one man, one jar. If you want to.
Can I read a quote from another video that he posted right after that?
Why not?
He's standing on the balcony with everything like you can see the Washington Monument in the background. He's giving a speech to the person holding the phone. He said, as your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. Now I'm better. Maybe I'm immune. I don't know.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Well, no, the best thing about it, the best spin,
God damn it.
the most masterful spin though, and this is like awe-inspiring spin, is how Fox and pundits and co are saying that Biden now is behind Trump because Trump has the full COVID experience. He knows what the people are dealing with, whereas Biden, he doesn't know. He's never had COVID. He can't access the people. Like they're using it as a positive, as a fucking net win for Trump to reach the COVID voters.
In a normal timeline, that's probably not a bad idea. But this is anything but a normal timeline. From a politically, strategic standpoint, from a tactical standpoint, yeah, that's not bad, but not now. Not in this case. It's because you're not going to get a straight answer on it is the problem. It's going to be I'm Superman. I defeated it. It's like maybe if you give it to, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it, but you know what I'm saying though. Like that isn't the worst thing in a non-election year. That's not a bad thing. Let me put it that way. In an election year,
Giuliani was just doing a Fox News interview where he's having an aggressive cough fit during the interview. So that's
lovely.
That's good.
That's from smoking all the crack he needs to smoke, I think.
The list of all the people that have had it, like in that administration, is just like, you're reaping what you sow.
Virus is going to virus. I mean,
Yes. But hey, maybe he's immune now. I don't know.
From the virus?
Yeah, he thinks he's immune now.
He probably is. Well, once he's over it. I mean, he's not while he's still got it, but he probably will be for a while at least.
And if not, they'll just send him back and inject him with another
round of Quaaludes. You know what? If I was getting Quaaludes, I'd be getting sick every fucking day. I'd be like, hey, you know what? I got it again. Let's go.
He feels better than he did 20 years ago.
I wanted to demonstrate just how good of a makeup job just to kind of show you what fettle and what health that Rudy Giuliani's in. I don't know why my screen is going fucking ape shit. Let's try that again. There we go. So as you see, Rudy Giuliani, look at the difference between his face and his hand, and you'll know where he's at. The man has been
Rudy, run for your life! Some dead guy's trying to grab you by the throat.
I mean, he's been dead for years, and then finally, he made the mistake of raising up his hand, and now the world knows it's like this guy's been gone and deceased for how long,
Holy
and now
shit! Doesn't it look like a zombie hand grabbing his face? Wow!
It looks like a wax museum that they haven't a wax model they haven't finished painting yet. They're like, yeah, I'll get to the hand here later on.
Nice.
Oh no! God, and not Rudy Giuliani is on Fox News, so whoever's interviewing him is going to get COVID, and then they're all going to go home.
It's through Zoom. It's through Zoom. They're not.
Oh, it's through Zoom. Okay.
They're not in the same spot. They're fine.
I wouldn't say fine.
Well, you never know.
Sorry to. I mean, I think we were all kind of walking the line of whether or not to even have this discussion tonight. I know that it was kind of I think at the beginning of the show we were all kind of yeah, sports, uniforms, that's the world is fine.
Nice.
Things are the same. Let's touch on those things that make us happy. But lurking in the background, it's been difficult to try and certain people I know who are not unintelligent people who have simply decided not to participate or engage in the political process at all this year because it's it's so unpleasant. I just want to be distracted by sports. I want to be distracted by doing things with my friends and going to weddings.
Do that. I can't find a way to do it though.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot escape.
Yeah,
this
you know why?
Returning world that we're in.
Everything, and other than we've gotten some sports back, but I mean, if you really look at it, the way it's set up and everything was taken away from us. And not taken away. I don't mean they went, "Fuck you, we're taking it all away." But I mean, it was all with the lockdowns and everything kind of movies, new TV, all that stuff gone, and you were left with no choice but to focus on this. And it'll drive you fucking nuts if you got to unplug. I've started watching that show, The Boys, on Amazon. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I was going to start watching it soon.
I have it on my list. I keep meaning to get to it. Yeah.
I really like it. I'm only 5 episodes into the first season, but I really like it. But you've got to unplug for a while, just to give yourself some, just to try to forget because
I try to do that on the weekends, like because I'm so involved in work and following this stuff, whether it's coronavirus or just being on social media all day long. But I like this weekend, it was impossible because like the president of the United States was in the hospital for our pandemic disease that we're currently living in. So like couldn't escape it. But,
it's I mean, to be honest, if you follow, like I live in a medical household, so I'm kind of, I don't have a choice but to see, what's happening, but it's not as, I mean, look, I'm not trying to downplay it or anything, but we've really come down the other side of the hill throughout most of the country. I mean, you've seen little bounces here and there, but nothing serious.
I will back you up and say that like even around here, which was a hotspot, the numbers have leveled out. Like they're not
right.
They're not going up at it like this sharp rate that they were. We've kind of hit like a simmering point where it's certainly out there, but it's not.
Yeah, and I think that's a reality we're just gonna have to learn to live with because I think this thing's gonna be endemic forever. It's just like the flu is, or like all the other ones that came along before it, H1N1 and whatever the fuck the bird flu was and all that. Now that's not to say that a vaccine would be a wonderful thing, but then I have good news. It's like, well, things are like leveling off and it's not too bad right now. And then I see a thing today. It's like phase 3 testing for the COVID vaccine. Everybody's having horrible side effects. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's like I couldn't even have 2 minutes before you had to like drop that in my lap. Come on. So who knows where it is?
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Sorry to like. I just kind of lost my shit there, and I.
No, it's all right. Yeah. You can't avoid it, man. I mean, there's no way around it. It's like we're sitting in a room. There's a big giant pile of dog shit in the middle of it. We don't want to talk about it. We're not going to mention it. It's
my wife and I did that the other day. Like clearly, one of the dogs had taken a big nasty shit in the hallway. We're both in our office just trying to work, and we both smell it. I mean, it smells terrible, and neither one of us is saying anything because whoever says something is probably going to be the one to go clean it up.
Yeah.
So finally, I just can't take it anymore, and I'm like, I think one of the dogs took a shit, and it's like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go clean it up, and it did. But it's just like, again, that's kind of our world right now. It's like, does anybody else smell that shit? It's like, oh yes, we've all been smelling it for a very long time, but nobody wants to clean it up. So we're just going to sit with it in the room for another few months, hopefully.
I guess the upside is we are less than a month away from the election at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't think that's going to bring anybody any relief. I think there's going to be another like week or two after that.
I hope it's only a week or two.
Yeah, I do have something positive to end on, actually.
Oh, thank God. Okay, what?
It's a fun little anecdote.
All right, good.
So I mentioned last week that I got an Estonian guy I know into American football.
All right.
And that conversation led to us, researching Estonia's national sport of carrying your wife through an obstacle course.
Ah, yes.
He heard that conversation and wanted me to relay to you guys what the prize is if you come in first.
Okay.
You get your wife's weight in beer.
Ooh,
not bad.
So you're rewarded for having a bigger wife.
I suppose so, but at the end of the day, like even do
you really need more than 100 pounds worth of beer?
Yeah,
really?
even if you got like even if you got like a skinny wife, like I mean that's still an entire human being's worth of beer.
Right.
Well, that's kind of like the Game of Thrones character who picked the tubby wife because he got her weight in silver.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta take the numbers.
Just a little fun thing about Estonia that will hopefully just to end on like a quirky, fun little thing. Because who doesn't like beer, man? Come on, yeah.
I know that like to get your wife's weight. I mean, Jesus, I could drink like 6 Budweisers, which would be 72 ounces. And you'd be dragging me out of there on my face if I drank that much. So I'm just trying to think. I guess
that's the question. Do you get that? Is that beer only available to you immediately post race, or is that your prize that you get to take home?
Well, that'd be nice, right? Yeah. Well, you know what, Estonia guy, if you're listening, we need an answer to that for next week's show. There you go.
Yeah, I'm all down for getting some more information about if we can get any. Like, I would love to have. Wait a minute. Didn't we have? When were we going to do a like worst champions or something like that?
I forgot because
that's all right. Me too. Clearly, till now.
Next week,
sure.
we will replace COVID talk with
COVID talk.
with worst champions.
Yeah, all right.
Who knows?
Right.
Maybe Mike Pence and Kamala Harris will stab each other.
Oh Christ, that's tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Oh, just for the record, I guess I slandered my wife. She says she doesn't do that. She didn't do that regarding the dog poop, and that I was wrong. So okay. I was wrong. Sorry, wife. Okay, you win.
Sorry,
Yes,
Mrs. Andy.
So this is why I record the show off on my own somewhere.
Last thing before we go, because the Regal Cinema chain of movie theaters is going to shut down for the rest of the year on Thursday because their parent company thinks that one, they're not making enough money, and two, all the movies keep getting moved, even the ones that have been moved to the end of this month and into December. Been moved
They moved the new Bond movie is gonna come up in I think April of next year.
So to take advantage of, because we for Christmas last year I bought for myself and my girlfriend the unlimited movie pass for the year, where you can just go to as many movies as you want during the day or the week or whatever. And it's like, well, we've really only gotten 2.5-3 months of use out of this thing because of the world, and there's only one movie out right now, Tenet,
which is good, by the way.
Right, I went and saw it. It's good and bad.
I liked it.
It's the best and worst of Christopher Nolan to me, where it's like, oh, this is really cool. I like looking at it. But man, the sound effects and the music are so goddamn loud. You can't understand what anyone's saying, and then for the second half of the movie, everybody's wearing masks, so you can't hear them talk again.
Well, also the second half of the movie, everyone starts moving backwards in time, so you really have to pay attention to figure out who's who.
All this mumbo jumbo bullshit about going backwards and forwards through time, and like I loved it and hated it all at once. It's like, yeah, I'm really into this. I don't understand a lick of it. I can't understand what anyone is saying, but it's cool to experience and look at.
So fun thing about why the music might be off in this. Hans Zimmer, who usually does Nolan's movies, was busy with Dune, so he had to go with some other guy. So
he went with Ludwig Göransson, who did Black Panther and The Mandalorian.
All right.
So very good.
So they might not have been vibing on the music front as
it wasn't even the style of music. It was loud. The mixing was off.
Well, we can get to this next week, guys.
Sure. Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
That's I'm done.
All right. So anyway, that's gonna do it, folks.
Go see a movie if you can while they're open. Go have fun, guys.
Yeah, enjoy one of the last things there is to enjoy before the fucking world ends. And on that note, it'll all be fine, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, guys. With that, of course, subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. You can follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. We will see you next week with the worst champions. And one of these days, we got to get to Batman, guys. Remember that?
Oh yeah, got to talk about Batman.
Yeah.
So we will do all that too. All right.
Something will happen to take our minds off of what we want to talk about.
If we're lucky.
It's just the way things happen.
All right. We'll see you next time, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Laters.